Hello everybody, this is Jeffrey GT7 and welcome to the episode. We got ourselves another combo that we can use at Tokyo Expressway 600. So our first car that we'll be going through is going to be using the Corvette C8, and I'll show you guys my complete full build for this car. So I'll be able to showcase where you can find the car, pretty much the parts I'll be using for a car customization and the tuning shop. And after we get done with that car, we're going to switch gears and do the Lamborghini Merciélago. This car right here is actually a really good car for Tokyo Expressway 600. So I'll be covering on how to find both cars, both the parts you need from both the tune shop and car customization at GT Auto. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started with this build. So let's go ahead and get started with the Corvette C8. This is a very easy car to get. Very affordable at 85,000 credits is going to be the price for this car at Brand Central. Very good looking car, might have add. And since its debut, it's just been a really very smooth car to pick overall in some races. So really recommend getting this car if you don't have it already. After you get the car, what you're going to do to the car once you go to GT Auto is to make it very thick and wide. So after you get done with the first stage of this build, we're going to then move on to stage 2, which is going to be the parts you need from the tuning shop. So let's go ahead over there, and starting off with sport category, all you just need here is going to be the sport hard tires. After you get that to the car, for club sports category, you'll just need the power restrictor with ballast as well. After you get those two parts, the next thing is going to be the semi-racing category. Just get the low torque supercharger. It's what you're going to get for the car with fully customized manual transmission with increased bike rigidity. And then for our final category, which is going to be the racing, all you just basically need here is the racing intercooler, and that's going to be it for the parts you need at the tuning shop. So after you get your parts, here is the parts I'll be using for GT Auto. So here are the rims. If you want to go ahead and pause and see if you got them in the store, and then go ahead and equip them. For your front bumper, it's going to be type A. For the side of the car, it's going to be type A as well. For the rear bumper, it's going to be type A with the rear diffuser for the car. And for the final part, it's going to be the rear wing. Make sure you select the custom wing set, and you'll be good to go. After you get those parts, here is a quick look of the tuning sheet that you'll be using for Tokyo Expressway. Sport hard tires, there's the downforce if you want to go ahead and jot that number down. We do have some ballast to the car added, and we mainly put it toward the rear. And then you can see there's the numbers for the fully customized manual transmission. No need to change the gears, just keep it as is. For supercharger, of course, is the low end torque with increased bike rigidity and the racing intercooler, and that's going to be it for the tune. So there's not a whole lot added to the car, simply because it's pretty close to that 600 point criteria, and that's going to be it for the build. So this car is going to be a very smooth, competitive car. It's pretty much a very well-rounded car, so it should be good in pretty much each category. It should be good on acceleration, handling, so it's pretty smooth. Speed, really good as well, which could probably take a fight toward the GTR, in my opinion. If it's either with or without slipstream, should be the fastest, even faster than that. And I would say the only negative thing about the car could possibly be just the fuel itself. But other than that, and also making sure you don't spin the car out from the rear of the rear balance of the car as well. Other than that, the car very smooth to drive. I'm actually racing this race with this car on the controller, and even with the controller, I could really feel the car actually gripping in the corners pretty nicely. Even getting hit with some dirty air, the car actually was able to pretty much stay on track. It didn't have any bad effects with that dirty air. It kept it right along with it. As you can see, we actually made a very good pass on the GTR, and we're going to go ahead and make another pass on the Elgin Supra, or Impreza, excuse me. And now we can face both the modified RX-7 and the LG Supra as we're about to head the next corners. Now, we are going to actually make an attempt to fight the modified RX-7. The LG Supra, since we're so close to that very crucial right-hand turn, we're actually going to back away from the battle, and it's going to be just us against the RX-7. As you'll see, the Supra is going to once again miserably lose its breaking point, and we're going to allow ourselves to capitalize from that mistake from the Supra and put ourselves into P2 once everything was pretty much done in that last corner. So like I mentioned before, the car feels really good in the handling, also pretty quick too, which is also a big help, especially at that long stretch in this track. As we finish up our very first lap with this race, very good start from last place to P2, with a first lap being a 2:19.1, which is actually a pretty good first lap time. Later in lap 2, as we're about to finish up and head back to the tunnel, we actually did capture the lead from the Honda NSX, and pretty much from that point on, we basically left everybody else in the dust until our pit stop. But before we get to our pit stop, let's go ahead and take a quick look at lap 4. This is going to be our official hot lap for this race. So if you yourself aren't too confident with the Expressway itself, I would really recommend you just watch this hot lap, see what the car is doing, and figure out where to place it in some corners. And I'll see you guys when we get to our pit stop. Alright, so let's go ahead to lap 6. This is going to be our official lap to pit. We actually did make it all the way on FEMAP 1. Now, unfortunately for us, thankfully we did make it all the way to the halfway point, but for this pit stop, as you can see here, we had to unfortunately have to wait till that fuel is all the way 100% full before we actually can leave. So it's quite unfortunate that the car is actually a little bit thirsty in this particular build. And you can see we just lost the lead there, but thankfully we did manage to get the lead back after the RX-7 made its pit stop on lap 8, and from that point on we basically just set up some time trial laps. So here's the ending of the first race. Not too shabby overall. In my opinion, it's going to be a 26:16. I do know there's a lot of cars out there right now that can easily beat that time, but I think for the Corvette, the way it was set up, I think that's pretty decent. Maybe could have been a faster time if I probably would have taken out the diffuser, possibly. Might have put some more horsepower back in the car, but I thought just keep the car pretty much well balanced overall for this particular build. But yeah, if you do have the Corvette laying around, I would recommend giving it a shot, and if it doesn't work out, then I would suggest you to save it for Le Mans. Guys, says that clean race bonus, and it's going to be it for race 1. Race 2, here's the Merciélago's location. It's going to cost you a bit more money this time around compared to the Corvette. It's going to be a very expensive 385,000 credits for this car, but trust me, this car is going to be very good. So after you get this car, your next step to do is going to be making this car wide and thick again. And as you can see, that's going to cost you about 100,000 credits just to make this car wide, so just make sure you have some extra credits laying around before you do that. For the parts, starting off, we're going to have weight reduction stage 1 and sport hard tires under the sports category, so it's going to be pretty much close to what we did with the Corvette. After that, for club sports, as we scroll down, this time around is going to be just a power restrictor for this car. For the semi-racing category, for those parts, as we scroll down to the list, it's going to be, again, sport racing clutch and flywheel, which is quite interesting. Fully customized LSD, fully customized manual transmission, and then of course increased body rigidity for the semi-racing category. And then finishing off with the racing category, all you need here is going to be the racing brake pads, the racing brake system, and of course the torque filtering center and system, and that's going to be it for the parts. Now before we get to the parts, here are the particular parts you need from the GT Auto. Here are the rims. I basically kept them standard with the rims. Type A for the front bumper, and the very last part is going to be the wing. I have it set to custom wing set, and that's literally it for the added parts from GT Auto. Here's a look at the build. It's pretty much similar to the Corvette. Sport hard tires with the fully customized differential, of course, with a filtering center at 2575. There's a look at the numbers for the downforce. We did reduce the power restrictor down to 97, and then there's a look at the transmission. Just keep it as is. From the screen, I didn't really tune the transmission at all. Here's the rest of the list. Racing brakes. Weight reduction stage 1 with increased body rigidity with semi-racing clutch and flywheel, and that's going to be it for the car. So for this particular run, it's going to be slightly different. For this run, I wasn't too sure if this car was actually thirsty for fuel or not, so I actually went ahead and ran this out map 2. Now, given if it can make it for the first stint on map 1, I'm not too sure. I did play a bit safe. As you can see right there, I did move it to map 2. The other thing is, for this run, I've actually ran this with my Logitech G29 race wheel, and first lap was okay. As you can see, I actually struggled that first turn, but it didn't take me too long just to get used to figure out where to turn the wheel and how much pressure to put behind the wheel and all that stuff for this track. So the car, even with dirty air, it didn't feel too bad. There might be a little bit of stiffness and a little bit of tightness, depending if you have clean air or not, but I could tell that the car actually felt pretty good, especially when it comes to acceleration, really smooth, and even some corners I could just tell the car actually being gliding in some of the corners. It just depending if you do have cars around you, it's going to pretty much affect of how the car feels as well. So if you do have clean air, the car should feel a bit better. But if you're close to somebody, it's going to be probably a little bit harder to basically follow them, given about the dirty air. But other than that, car did great. Sounds really, really good, not to mention. So I'm pretty sure you guys are going to have a blast to hear that engine when we do our hot lap. But you can see here, we're going to try to make a move on the Supra. We're going to back off because we do know that the Supra, once again, is going to mess up that last turn. And we're going to really fully capitalize that mistake from the Supra. We actually do make a little bit of contact, but we do get a nice shot at that last corner, given that our car is an all-wheel drive terrain car, which also helps a lot. And that's going to be it for our first lap. So even though we're not in P2 like we did with the Corvette, it's still going to be roughly a good lap overall. Maybe got been held up a little bit here and there, and almost similar to the same time as with the Corvette. But we do manage to fast forward to the beginning of lap 3, and we actually did have a nice run on the Honda. And we're going to get a nice slipstream, make a move on its left side, and from that point on, we're just going to basically run away from it. So pretty much similar to the Corvette, but maybe a little bit faster in some cases. So after we actually got the lead, we're going to go ahead fast forward to once again the ending of lap 6, and it was, I wasn't too sure if map 2 would have been the right map to be on. We did manage to have some fuel left behind, so that's why I couldn't really figure out what the map saying was, but I think map 2 might be the best one to choose from in this race. So what I'm going to do is just don't change tires. We're going to refuel our car all the way up. That way we can go back to map 1 and burn that fuel. And you can see we did manage to lose the lead on the RX-7, but there it is right there. So we can easily chase it back down, which we actually did manage to do that later that lap and retook the lead. Fast forward to lap number 10. This is going to be our official hot lap, which I really recommend you guys watching. There's also the lap times if you're curious to see what we were able to do in that run. But I really recommend just watch this lap, and then I'll see you guys when we get to the end of the race. Alright, so as we get done with this race, the car was very quick. It's going to be a 26.09, so a little bit faster than the Corvette. Even with a wheel, I probably could have gone faster if I was on controller, but despite that, really a good car to choose from. So if you do have it, I would recommend just giving that a shot too. Guys, how's that clearance bonus? And that's going to be it for the episode. So here's a quick preview of the next episode. We're going to be using a very interesting car. This is going to be the Porsche 917K. This is one car I never would have thought would work. So I basically was tinkering with it. Found myself a very unique setup, and yeah, this is going to be quite interesting episode for the next one, using this car around Tokyo Expressway 600. So I'm looking forward to see what this car can do. It actually blew me away just to see what this car was capable of doing. So that's going to be the one car we're going to do. The other car is going to be a request run using the Honda Civic EK Touring car with its engine swap. So really recommend you guys looking forward for that. If there's a particular build you want to see, you can put it down there in the comments below. And if you really enjoy what you saw today, like to see my content later down the road, you're more welcome to subscribe to the channel as well. I really appreciate you guys' support for the channel as of late. So yeah, it's been a lot. If you also want to check out the last episode, there it is right there. And with that being said, hopefully you guys have a great rest of the day or night, and I'll see you guys later, and take care.